Greetings, Humboldt students and teachers. Today you are going to set up your new iPad. I'm going to walk you through the directions that are part of this presentation. In order to listen and follow along so you don't miss any steps, you must turn off your cell phones or any other mobile devices that you have. When you receive your iPad, you will get this half sheet of paper. It'll have your username and password, followed by your email address and the recommended passcode that you should create for your iPad. On the back side of that sheet of paper are the directions on how to set up your iPad. If you're very comfortable with setting up the iPad, you've done it in the past couple of years, you may go ahead and continue. If you do continue on your own, do not install additional apps or any kind of updates to your iPad. We are just going to set up your Mail, Google Drive. Okay, so here we go. The stickers have been provided already for your iPad. You'll have two, one that's inside of the flap of the iPad and the second on the outside of the keyboard. Never write on the St. Paul Public Schools sticker right there. You are also not allowed to add any additional stickers to your iPad. Adding stickers to your iPad is considered as abuse to your technology equipment. Always keep the iPad together. I understand sometimes you may want to take the keyboard off because you're using it as a tablet. Those are some rare situations. Just do your best at keeping it together, and especially when you are moving from one place to another. This includes putting it into your backpack, or in your car, or in your bedroom. The keyboard is there not just to provide the convenience, but it also protects the screen of your iPad. That is why you want to keep it together. The second reason is just so you don't lose your keyboard. Your iPad is probably not turned on right now. So up in the corner, right where there's a camera, go ahead, press that button to turn on your iPad. This will take about 30 seconds to start up your iPad. When you start it up, you get this screen that says hello, and then press home to begin. Select English as your main language for the iPad. United States. When you get an option to choose a Wi-Fi network, start with the ISD 625. That is the first wireless network that you will use. Eventually, you will change it. If it doesn't show up right away, wait. Sometimes you might have to even press the back button and then come back to the screen again. You want to enable location services. It helps the functionality of other apps on your iPad. Now here's the toughest part, waiting. You have to wait at least a minute for this screen to start loading your iPad. When it's ready to go, go ahead and press the next button in the upper right corner. Now this is where you look at the half sheet of paper that was provided to you inside of your iPad. You will enter your username and password. It starts with an S and then it has your 6-digit lunch number. The password typically ends with AZZ. Once again, the most difficult part, waiting. Please wait at least a minute. Don't mess with the iPad while you are waiting. In fact, just keep your hands off. There's only one thing to do here on this screen, so press get started. Then it brings you to your home screen. Yes, it says wait 30 seconds. I know that's tough for you to do, but you have to. In fact, I would say you may have to wait even longer than 30 seconds because you'll keep seeing the screen flickering and changing on you. The first window will probably be this one. It's just telling you that you can always rearrange the apps on this home screen. Go ahead, press dismiss. Now it's asking you for a passcode. If it doesn't start asking for a passcode, don't worry about it. It'll show up eventually. Go ahead, press continue, and you will enter your lunch number for your passcode, and then it's going to ask you to type it in again. You didn't mess up, you didn't make a mistake. You just need to make sure you are typing in correctly. That's their way of checking. The Tech Use button will bring you, it's called a web clip. So if you are bringing your iPad home and you have access to the Wi-Fi, or you brought it to a library or to your neighbor's house or friend or relative, with your parents, you can sign all the school forms in iUpdate. iUpdate is inside of the parent campus portal. This is what it looks like when you and your parents go to the Tech Use in iUpdate website. This works with your parents' account and not the student's account. You can also go to the humboldt.spps.org website, and we will have a link for the parent campus portal there. If your parent does not know their username, they should check their email. It was sent to them. If they did not receive an email, they can call the school office and we can provide that for you. Next, go to the Find and locate the Gray Settings app. Tap twice to open it, or once. Now we need to change the Wi-Fi from the ISD 625 to the SPPS secure one. The reason why you want to do that is because this one has more dedicated bandwidth. After you do that, press the home button. Now it's time to sync Google Apps. Self-service is where we download all of our apps. There's no need for the App Store because everything we need for St. Paul Public Schools is located in self-service. You might see this one on your screen. That is just a temporary fix. This is the one that you want. The bad news is sometimes this app does not show up right away. Sometimes it takes up to a day or even sometimes 2 days. But by average, it usually shows up when you first set up your iPad. When you first go to self-service, it will say, just press OK to allow notifications. This app is OK for notifications because it's coming from St. Paul Public Schools. And always allow to use your location. At the very top row of your screen, go ahead and select Google Drive. Do not mess around and look for other apps right now. Go to Google Drive and only that. After about a minute or two, it will download to your screen. Go ahead, tap once on it to open it. Don't worry about going through all these screens. Instead, go straight to the lower left corner and select Sign In. Type in your email address that's found, on that half sheet of paper. Then press Next. After you do that, it will ask for your username and password. This is the same username and password that you would use to log into a computer in the library. You can find your username and password on that half sheet of paper. It will ask you to back up your photos and videos. No. Press No thanks. I don't even know why they even ask you that. When you get that going, then you'll see your Google Drive account and all the other documents that you created in the past. One other app to install while you are there and everything's working fine is to download and install Google Docs. And one more part, and that is to activate your email. Go back to self-service. In the top row, you'll see a blue icon with a white envelope. Tap once on that email icon. Tap Install. After about a minute, you'll see a little red circle with the number that indicates how many new emails that you just got. And if the volume is on, you'll hear a noise. You will also be asked to type in a password. This is your Active Directory password that you would use for logging into a computer. Usually the password ends with AZZ and is written on your sheet of paper. To see your emails, go in the upper left corner, press Mailboxes, and select Inbox. You'll see other folders show up here too as well. That indicates that everything was installed properly. Sometimes you might not type in your password correctly, so it will ask you again. If it still has problems after doing it at least 3 times, please ask your teacher can help you. They can go to teacher activities inside of campus to reset your password or to look it up. Part 4, App Download. We're going to explore the additional steps that you should take immediately before going to other things on your iPad. Go to the self-service app again. Eventually, you will see this self-service app just magically disappear. This one is what will stay on your iPad and works best. In the second row right here, we have SPPS Core Apps. In the right corner, it says See All. This row right here shows all the most important apps, but it doesn't show all of them. Click on See All. The three most important ones that you want from that row of apps are these three. My SPPS, that is for communications and the latest information coming from the school district, such as school closings. Second app, Schoology. To log into Schoology, you will you'll do a search for St. Paul Public Schools, and then use your Active Directory username and password that is found on your half sheet of paper. The third app is Notability. Notability is for note-taking and word processing. This is usually a $5 app. The most important stuff is now complete. Now before you press pause or stop, there's a couple other additional things you need to know. Your iPad name, eventually it will just be locked and the name will not change. It's going to be renamed according to the beginning part of your email address. So don't even mess around with that. The lock screen, the screen that shows up on the front of your iPad, will eventually be this. This is a video on how to use that new keyboard on your iPad. There's a lot of cool things you can actually do with it. This half sheet of paper has all your most important information on it. It is not just something you will leave laying around for your neighbors to see or even your little brother or sister. I would recommend that you just tape it into your planner or keep it in a very safe place at home. Do not leave it laying around our school. You are given a charger and the cord. Do not lose your accessories. In fact, don't even bring them to school. We will set up some charging stations in every reading and math class this school year. There's no need for you to bring the charger to school. Keep it in a safe place at home. If you bring it to school, it will most likely get lost or stolen. Now, teachers, that is all I have to say. What you need to do is to pack up all leftover paperwork and all leftover iPads because the students might have been absent or might have accidentally added extra iPads to your bin. Everything goes inside the bin. Please mark the students that were absent on your class roster. All technology forms for the paper version, I put enough in there for most classes, but if you are short, I can always provide more. You need to collect those forms and then bring them down to the office. The clerks and myself will work on processing those forms and we'll get the forms set up in iUpdate as soon as possible. The students' iPads will be locked if they don't get that form or iUpdate turned in or signed. The bin for the iPads and extra iPads and the paperwork needs to go back to the library immediately. Do not let it sit in your room. Do not collect any iPads from students, and don't keep any iPads from students that were absent. Put everything in the bin and send it to the library immediately. Make-up days for the iPads will take place during advisory class only for the next 2 days.